Our guy at the gym this week was talking about ordering the seafood tower at Hugo's. I was immediately intrigued. I had never heard of the seafood tower, plus the idea of the tower. It's central to the study of the Tarot. We build things up into a tower, and then we experience the lament and despair when our misplaced devotion fails us. Later this week, an article in the New York Times about making a celebration of small accomplishments. It suggests celebrating cleaning out the sock drawer by ordering the seafood tower. Wherever you start your journey, let the celebration begin. Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Sunday Coffee Hour, we talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday, we talked about getting a second opinion, recovering from a vacation, hotel air conditioning, and the Obama Library. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Genesis. If you're going to negotiate with God, you might as well go for broke. And from Colossians, agreeing to argue is often as far as we get in the conversation. The gospel reading was the parable of the persistent neighbor. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral is by Rose Duncan. She preached about praying, how we pray, what we pray for, and that God already knows our thoughts and prayers. So, what's the point? Sometimes we're the ones that need to hear our own thoughts and prayers, our own prayers for peace, justice, reconciliation, and social justice. Rose said that they were remembering the first Black dean of Washington National Cathedral last Sunday, John Walker. And his history reminds us that we still have work to do answering our prayers for equity and inclusion. God is still waiting to hear that prayer and to bring this reign, his reign, for peace and reconciliation and social justice into the world. It's a which comes first, the cart or the horse? Are we speaking to God and listening to ourselves, or is God truly listening and hearing our prayers? 100 years after John Walker's birth, we wonder where's the justice? The parable of the persistent neighbor tells us to keep on knocking on the door and keep on asking, and it will be opened onto us, and it will be given to us in our time. At St. James Cathedral, the sermon is by Lisa Hackney James. She preached about how St. James is the pillar of our faith, especially at St. James, because he is the patron saint of the cathedral. James was part of Christ's inner circle. He was part of the inner circle that eschewed the very idea of an inner circle. He was one of the sons of Zebedee, the ones that Jesus called to lay down their nets and follow him. James was also there at the Transfiguration. Somebody had to be there. There's always an inner circle of the ones who are there. Like the only remnant of St. James Cathedral after the Chicago fire, the tower. The tower served as the being there for the reconstructed cathedral to rise again. Currently, a capital campaign is in progress to see that the cathedral is fully restored in our time, to be there for us and for future generations. Christ is the being there in our time. No matter how hard the federal government tries to stamp it out, it remains. Lisa stumbled on that statement, but continued on. We will be the inner circle of being Christian, no matter where our journey starts or where our journey ends. My friend Dagmar was really good at dropping into a scene and experiencing it for all that it was worth. She never let being erudite or a snob get in her way. Visiting a trailer park or riding on the back of a motorcycle through Topanga Canyon, she could appreciate things for what they were, appreciate people and offer compliments. Things on compliments on things like a mayonnaise garden in Venice Beach, and asking the definition of a double wide trailer without ever being derogatory. Dagmar lived on cigarettes, coffee, and the New York Times. She was one of the world's few truly superior people. Some people try really hard to convince the world that they're superior, but they themselves kind of have their doubts. But for some, they're very, very certain of it. The Cleveland Plain Dealer newspaper printed the 47 attributes of a good life. Simple tips like spend time alone, don't bring up the past, mind your own business, and trust in God, but lock your car. Some people are trying really hard to figure out how to bake a cake with mayonnaise, while others are happy to follow a simple recipe. Life is not rocket science, and we can do it anyway. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour is every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.